Alright, hope everybody's doing well today. Or hope you guys are doing well wherever you're at. I forgot today was Sunday, so I slept in like a... Well, actually I didn't forget. I slept in like a little bit longer. And I got woken up by an earthquake. Yeah. Here in California, earthquakes are a natural alarm for Californians. At least for the most part, I think so. But yeah, today we're gonna be talking about some specific things, just like updates with the channel, and just talking about things in general. Yeah, because I haven't really done like any just chatting streams. Like more so, whenever I chat, I just talk about like the game that I'm playing, or I just talk about stuff about life, but also playing the game at the same time. But I've never just like chatted with people like one-on-one kind of. Actually, that's not true. I mean, I talk to the chat all the time. But hey, legalized nuclear bombs, how are you doing? But yeah, like I said, today we're just gonna talk about some general topics, as well as like maybe going over like YouTube stuff. Like what are my plans for YouTube? Like what am I gonna do, or what is there, or what are my aspirations? I kind of want to create goals, but it's just like so much that I want to do for YouTube, but I haven't really been able to yet. Also, you guys might notice that I kind of changed like the whole layout. So now that we have like a different just chatting screen. Yeah, I thought it looked a bit nicer. It's a bit cleaner, I think. I'm doing fine playing a Pokemon game with my sister. Nice. What Pokemon game? You know, one thing lately, since I've turned like 27, well actually, not 27, I've turned like 26 or so. I've forgotten how old I am, to be honest. It's like when you don't really think about stuff, like as you go through life, like one of the things I don't think about is like how old I am. So, like when you turn a certain age, I know some people get like midlife crises. I think that's what you call it, midlife crises. But I've never been one to actually get that. Not yet anyways. So I'm sort of like getting up there in age where I feel old, but I'm not old. So I feel like I'm like in between mid-20s and like almost 30. Which is like the correct way to go about things, but it's like I don't want to. Like, what do you guys think is like the age where you get old? Like, what age do you guys think is old? Hey, Hudra, how are you doing? We're just gonna go over some general talking points, or like topics, just the stuff that I've been curious about that I want to talk about, and also we'll go over like some YouTube stuff, where it's like what are my goals for YouTube and content creation, and the types of content that I'll try to put out. That sort of goes hand in hand with what I want to put out this coming week, because it's something different. It's certainly not just like Wizard 101. It's like something else. I'm assuming you're a baby, like 18. I'm 24. What the fuck, really? You guys think I'm super young? You guys think I'm like 18? Like sometimes people take this as a compliment. And it's like when they say like you're younger than you actually sound. I feel like that's like an actual compliment. But I'm actually like almost 27. I want to say. By this year, or by the end of this year, I'm like actually 27. Which is like, it's really somewhat old, but not old at the same time. And one thing I always thought about, like when you get to this age, is like accomplishments, right? It's like, what have I done so far? And there's like so many people that that accomplish like so many things in the world that that some people are like well known even long after they're gone, I mean. Whereas like some people, like regular celebrities, we don't remember their names like even 60 years or 70 years later. You guys know that? But we know like people that have made like revolutionary breakthroughs, like Thomas Edison or Madame Curie, those types of people. I think it's more so because we're taught that rather than like we actually exploring it on our own. Or maybe it's because we're not actually shown all, like what people were known for. But like for that, like it's been on my mind because I want to be able to make something, and I feel like everybody might be this way. Either you want to sail through life or you want to do something that's like spectacular. But I feel like I want to do something that's like, I wouldn't say it's like Mr. Beast type stuff. I don't want to like be a person that copies. I don't want to make that type of content where it's like you have the weird looking face in the thumbnail, and then you have something that's like an idea, and then you turn it into an interesting video. Or it became like an idea first and then became a video. But in the grand scheme of things, there's always going to be people that I feel like will be remembered. But it's for something that really benefit humanity, like on a large scale, rather than like being known for playing a role in a movie. You guys know what I mean? So, like for some of your favorite actors, they might not be like well known for like 80 or 90 years from now on. And I'm not saying that it's like a pessimistic thing where people will be forgotten. It's just that we don't really know their names unless we look for that. At least not anymore, I mean. But yeah, speaking of which, you guys know that there's like a Twitch channel for PewDiePie? I was kind of surprised too, but it's like just reruns where people still watch that, and they have like over 3,000 viewers. It's like a ton of people. It's just so odd to me that it's just like rerunning content. And I feel like if you just ran your own 24/7 channel with like, I don't know, rerunning a TV show, I feel like you would do really well for yourself. I mean, you still get copyright struck, but hey, you know, you might as well make it last. I think in today's world, you need to solve world hunger for such things. Yeah, I mean, there's also that. I just want to, like, I don't know if people share like the same goal as, like, there's some people, like I said, that want to sail through life and they just want to live life. You know, they want to live life comfortably, they want to be happy. But at least for me, I want to be able to accomplish something that I feel like I'm passionate about, but also fulfilled. You know what I mean? And I don't know if people find fulfillment in like the things that they do every day, like their jobs. I know some people don't really like their current circumstance when it comes to their own jobs, because it might not be something they like. But I like to think that for people who don't like their current jobs, it's just like a stepping stone towards something greater. You know, some people, say for example, I don't know, you like Mark Zuckerberg, right? I know it's a bad example because he's like, he has like the whole thing with metaverse, but he went to like college and then he quit and he became like a janitor, and then he started like the whole business with like Facebook and shit. But that's usually how I think of things. But yeah, world hunger is definitely like I feel like something that can be feasible, and it could be like adjusted, and it could, but like the thing about it is like there's so many people on this earth nowadays, and that number continues to skyrocket. But I feel like one of the things I don't worry about all that much is overpopulation. Maybe it's because I want to say that I don't really look at it from a greater perspective, because by the time like the world becomes overpopulated, it's like I'm already probably 6 foot below, or I don't know, one foot in the grave already. But maybe, and I feel like this is gonna be more of a problem later on down the road as people become more and more healthy, and that's not a bad thing. I mean, living longer is great, certainly, but there's like some people that probably don't want to live as long because they have like a disease of some kind, so prolonging it just makes them suffer. But I think of it as like I don't know. I'm kind of talking out of my ass right now. But there's definitely like a ton of people right now on the earth, and there's certainly ways to go about it. To the way I know, like the way back then, like in history, people used to go to war to help with like the whole population problem. But nowadays, like everything's mostly peaceful. For the most part. But I don't really want to get into like the whole war stuff, because that's like a tricky thing to go about it. So yeah. It's not that the world isn't overpopulated, it's just that right now it's just... I feel like we're at a decent pace. And from here on out, it's gonna definitely be... There's gonna be there's definitely going to be a lot more people. So yeah, that's just my opinion on things. Oh, I forgot to read Legalize Nuclear Bombs message. Pokemon Brick Bronze, the fan game on Roblox. Oh. That's interesting, because I actually talked about Roblox in like one of the videos that I made. Or I'm currently making, I mean. Yeah, I'm not gonna like spoil it for you guys, but I am gonna like put it out by the end of this week, so tomorrow. I did like edit quite a lot of it, and there's like so much whenever it comes to like video making, and I don't know if you guys have this problem. I mean, like, you probably aren't like a YouTubers or like video editors or video makers, but for me, I tend to be like really... What's the word for it? Perfectionist? It's like whenever I'm done with like editing, or like there's like a certain part where I feel like there's like stuff where I want to add more of, like I gotta make it perfect, kind of. Like for example, like I'm almost done with like one part, or almost like 3/4 of the video, and then it's like I go back and then I rewatch it, and it's like, maybe people might not understand this as well, and I should like insert more into it so that they can understand it. And I'm not saying like people are like bad at understanding. It's just, at least for me, I feel like there's like so much I can add to it to like enhance the viewer experience. And at least for me, like going about it as like a YouTuber, I've been doing this for like quite a long while. And like I've constantly tried to improve stuff, and that's like the best way I feel like people can go about things. Whenever they go into a specific field, or they want to do something that they're passionate about. So I don't know if people are like the same way as I am, or it's like they want to constantly improve things and make like the whole experience better for either people watching or for themselves. Oh, one of the things that I've seen lately, I don't know if you guys ever see this on YouTube, but one thing that kind of scared me, and this is like a problem I find with some people. It's like whenever I see channels where they completely wipe their whole video library. Well, I wouldn't say like completely wipe their video library. Sometimes that happens, but I don't know if you guys ever seen this, but sometimes people go off on like the deep end where they'll completely revert their whole YouTube video selection or their video projects into something that's entirely different. So lately I've seen that some people convert their whole content or their niche and they go completely into religion. And that kind of scares me a little bit. Like for example, there's like a few game YouTubers that I'm not saying like religion is bad or something. Whatever you believe in is fine, but it's just like so odd to me that they convert gaming into like religion, where they start making religious videos. So it's like it's so odd to me. Like I would never do that. You guys know what I mean? I don't know if you guys ever see channels like that, but what, like for 1 minute they go from making, let's say for example, for Wizard 101, right? Let's say for example they make 64 plot of couch potatoes, and then a couple days later they make like Moses and how he split apart the Red Sea. It's like it's so weird to me. It's like I believe in God now. I have found God through YouTube. Like it's just like I don't know why, but like I've seen so many channels that go that route where they went from gaming to something that's just like entirely different. They did like a complete 180. Froggy Bible reading when? Come to think of it, the only time, I don't know if I ever said this. So my grandma, rest in peace, she recently passed away. And we're holding like the funeral, I think this week or next week. Actually, it has to be next week. I don't know why it would be this week. It's like the end of Sunday, but we used to go to church every Sunday with my grandma, and we had this like one pastor, and I wasn't like religious in any way. All right, we were sort of like at like a crossroads where my grandma was like really religious, so we do it for her. All right, we go to the church every Sunday. And we go to like the pasture, we'd sing songs. It was like really weird. But the best thing about it was we get to have like free bagels and coffee in the morning. We had to go at like 9 a.m. Or actually 8 a.m. And I'm not sure why we had to go that early. We could have just gone like afternoon. But hey, we got free food, right? But it wasn't exactly free. I mean, every single time that they were done with like the sermon, they had to pass us this little basket, and then we had to put like $2 in, or I don't know, however much money that you want to put in. So technically, it's like it wasn't free. And I don't really know what that offering basket is for exactly. I think it's to support the church. But needless to say, it's not like free breakfast. Although we did get a free show. The show being a boring sermon. Not to be offensive, okay? I know some people might be religious. And some people might go to church and they like listening to like Sunday service. But that's a joke. Don't take it too seriously. Froggy reads the Communist Manifesto when? I forgot. There's like a... When I think of like the Communist Manifesto... I think of like some of the dictators like in the world, like that used to write books, and then that somehow spread like across the country so that many people started believing it. But I don't really want to go too deep into that. It's just like an interesting tidbit. One of my small favorite YouTuber joined a religion, so I just unsubbed because I wasn't there for that. I'm not gonna lie, I've like I'll say this right now, but I'll never actually go in like off the deep end towards like religion of any kind. And I'm not gonna like find God on YouTube. I know some people find God in prison. But like I know there's some YouTubers that have been in prison, and they come back, but they don't really believe like they don't showcase God or anything. They just showcase their prison life and what they went through. And they say stuff like split wigs, or like was it split wigs and spread cheeks or whatnot. It's just like a ton of prison talk, but they never talk about religion. Like, it's really odd to me. It's like when I think of, whenever I watch like prison shows, or I don't really watch them at all, but whenever I think of like prison based shows, or I think of people that land themselves in jail, I think of like the one thing that they always turn to, which is religion. But when they come back, they never do that. I know some people, they'll do that, but they'll turn into like pastors, or they'll turn into like people who want to support like a good cause and become like a better person and help out like their communities and all that. But I've never seen a person who went to jail and then like go on YouTube and talk about religion before. I wish I got a free breakfast when I went to church. We had to drop in $10 in those little pass around baskets, no perks. Yeah, that sucks. $10? Nowadays, $10 can't really buy you anything at like a fast food restaurant. You need like $15 at like the least. Like, it's amazing to me like how much fast food has like increased so much. Yeah, so much so that you guys know that the Dollar Trees and like the 99-cent stores, they're actually closing. Yeah, they're actually gone now. I know some people they might be from like the East Coast, but I'm from like the West Coast. We have like a ton of 99-cent stores. But for you guys on the East Coast, you might have like Dollar General or something that's like related to the almighty dollar. But over here, it's more so because I think it's more so because they aren't making enough money, or they're losing money based off of how much the stuff costs, because it's super low. But yeah, a lot of the dollar stores, they're going away. Either that, or they're resorting to charging their prices by 25 cents more. I hated giving money because we were poor, and I thought my mom was stupid for making us poorer. So I kind of have slight dislike of churches. Love you, Jesus, though. Yeah, that's one of the things that might be a problem with some people that they have to give money. It's kind of ironic how, like, you feel like you have to give money when you don't have money. And it's supposed to support like a cause that helps like poor people. So like the whole system to me feels kind of ironic. And it's like the same thing with I don't want to go too deep into this, but it's like the same thing with like taxes. Oh, I also have something that I had like in my mind that I thought of. And it's like this one thing. I don't know if most people either agree with it or disagree with it, but I think that some people are like meant to be in your lives for like a short time to teach you a lesson. Do you guys agree with that statement? And when I say like teach you a lesson, it could be a lot of things about life. It could be that it can teach you that some people aren't meant to be compatible with you. Some people can be, not very friendly to you. Or some people can treat you in a very bad way. And you're meant to just, do away with that. It's just a lot of things. I was talking about fast food inflation with a friend earlier. It's kind of crazy. I used to get a full meal and a drink for $2 to $3 just 6 or 7 years ago. Now that will barely cover that will barely buy anything. Yeah, it's kind of crazy. The way I try to save money though, like the way I try to do it is I try to use like the fast food restaurant apps. Like I have a whole bunch of fast food restaurant apps on my phone. I don't know if you guys ever download like the apps for that, but I mainly do it because it saves me like maybe like 50% whenever I go to like any fast food restaurant, especially like McDonald's. But I save like a ton of money. Like if you're paying for like retail without like an app or like any savings at all, it's definitely like super expensive. Even nowadays, you can't really get a whole lot for free. Which makes me think about like what eventually is gonna be free. Hey Phoenix, hope you're doing well. Hope you're having a good day or a good night. But I don't really think about it in that way. Well, what do you think about it in a different way? Do you think about them being with you in like a short time for a different reason other than to teach you a lesson? If you don't think about that way, then what do you think of it then? Oh, and for anybody that's new, feel free to come join our Discord. Thank you for linking that as well, Phoenix. Damn it, I just joined my own Discord. Okay, there we go. There should be like a better way to pin that, but I don't think about the mat at all. Really? I mean, like the way I think about it is like if you have like a girlfriend or like a boyfriend, or you have like a friend, or you have like anybody that was important at one point in your life. Maybe they weren't compatible with you, maybe they said some things, and maybe they didn't treat you right. So it's supposed to teach you about like the virtues of life. Like just if some people do something to you, then you might not want them in your life. Then that's just a reasonable way to go about things. But yeah, that's how I think about. Like I want to say I agree with it. Some people are in your life for a short while, but sometimes that might not be the case. Like it's the same way with death, right? So some people might have to pass away in order to teach you a lesson, either it be about how life is and how harsh life can be. But there's definitely lessons to be learned there. At least that's the way I go about thinking about things when it comes to like short term and like long term. I definitely learned a few lessons from my breakups. Yeah, I learned a couple lessons too. But at the same time, I wouldn't say like it's like a good lesson for me to learn about breakups, because the thing about my breakup is that although we did have like a although it taught me that we didn't know what we wanted, and it taught me about like the whole infrastructure of life and how you should go about moving on and moving forward. The thing I guess it also taught me was like forgiveness. And also learning that if people do happen to come back in your life, then they will. And life is full of mysteries and life is full of surprises. So there's like a lot that goes into life. I guess what Phoenix might have meant is like life is full of surprises. And even if there's things that happen, there's some good things that can happen too. But yeah, there's definitely like a lot that goes into like philosophy in life and all that. I was wondering, what do you guys think? What do you guys consider as like brain rot? Like for me, it's usually like YouTube shorts or just like videos that have like loud noises and it's supposed to be funny. And do you guys think like brain rot actually rots your brain? Like I know I always see like videos that are like very short, like in a form of like a video, and it's just like a really loud noise for like zoomers. And for some reason they like that stuff. I don't really particularly like know why exactly. Like I don't know how like a Vine boom is like funny. Maybe I'm too old for that stuff, but like I just I don't really get it. Or like they pitch the shift of like how they sound. So they sound like a cartoon character. So it's just like that one sound that keeps playing. It does kind of remind me of like you know how back in like the old days, I don't know if you guys ever watched like YouTube poops. Like now we're talking about the whole fossil area. This was like way back in like 2000 like 8 or like 2009. That was like back in my era. But the only times I ever like watch anything that's like considered brain rot, and even then like the type that people might consider brain rot, at least they put like effort into it, right? I know some people put like effort into like shit posts. At least that's why they call it shit posts, where there's like definitely some effort like put into it. But compared to like what YouTube poops used to do, they have like sentence remixing, and they have like a whole bunch of editing. It's like an entire video. It's like 8 minutes or like 5 minutes or whatnot. Whereas like whereas just like brain rot shorts are just like, I don't know, 30 seconds or less. I've been repeating Chinese meme for a month now. Really? That's what brain rot does? Like I always thought like brain rot meant that it just like it stays in your brain and then it just corrupts it from like the inside. Like it just deteriorates your brain. Like it's so odd to me. I know like the meme that you're talking about. It's like the one with like John Cena, is it? Or it's not like John Cena. It's like the one where it's like I don't know. I think it's a song. I know what kind of memes you were talking about. Like I've seen them before, but like I don't really get it. I don't understand why people do that, or like why they like that. Maybe it's because of like the whole TikTok thing, where people like kids nowadays, they go on TikTok. Or I don't know, like maybe now like YouTube shorts have gotten to the form of how TikToks are. Maybe that's why like people nowadays are like brain rotted. Like for me, I feel like brain rot kind of causes people to be addicted to like social media. So they tend to get like really fixated over it, and they tend to be attached to it. So to a point where they, how do I put this? Like they get so attached to social media that it becomes like a problem. Where there's like some people called like clout chasers, where they go out and they lick like toilet seats on like airplanes, or they do like the most degenerate stuff, all for like chasing the numbers and like views and all that. And I feel like that's what causes like the brain rot. That's what causes people to do all that stuff. Or maybe I'm wrong, but there's definitely like a correlation with like having people that say like or like chase numbers, or like make brain rotted contents. Okay, I just showed up a couple seconds ago, but brain rot does not doesn't technically rot your brain, but watching stuff like that doesn't require thought, doesn't strengthen neural pathways. Oh, okay. Hey, neutrality czar. Also, thank you for saying that. But yeah, that's really interesting. So it doesn't do anything to your brain, but so can like the opposite be said? Like if you do puzzles, right? I know some old people tend to do like the New York Times like crossword puzzle or some shit, or they go on like Yahoo and then they do like the crossword puzzles there. There's also like something called like the Daily Wordle. I don't know if you guys ever seen that before, but does actually I wonder about this. Like, if you do puzzles, does it actually like strengthen your brain? Like, cause for me though, like I play a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh, so I must be making a ton of connections there. I know it's not like a puzzle, but it is like sort of a puzzle game in a way. Like it's not it's like not like the generic puzzle, but it's still like puzzle trying to figure out like what a Yu-Gi-Oh card does. And then you have like different effects that activate on top of each other. Not the John Cena one, the one with the girl that says she just turned 18 and she's clearly not 18. Oh, okay, I don't know that then, but cool. Man, I feel like there's like so many things like I'm out of, like for me, as far as like the whole meme thing, or like the whole what people think of like internet culture nowadays, I'm mostly out of the loop. So I'm not like a seasoned veteran when it comes to like memes, and I'm not really like connected with like internet culture as a whole. But like I feel like I slowly get there just by looking at Twitter every now and then. And I know it's like a bad thing to go about looking at Twitter, but I just like I go on there like every other day, mostly because I have like the schedule now. So when I say schedule, I mean my stream schedule. Sometimes I forget to post that on Twitter because I keep saying this on Twitter, but I keep forgetting that it exists. Okay, I don't really like go on social media all that much. The same with Twitter. I just find that like I don't have much to say. I don't have like much to post about on Twitter, or I don't really have anything interesting to talk about. So I just don't really do that much on social media. I mean, unless I like do something that I feel like is like I put effort into, right? Where like you know how I made like sushi last week? Like I did something, I accomplished something. I feel like that's something that like I feel like if it's worthy to post, then I'd post it, but generally speaking, I don't really post anything. I thought brain rot is like an embarrassing degeneracy. It kinda is. Some people tend to make shit posts, and then some people kind of cringe at it. I hate brain rot. I like watch informal content. But I will say though, YouTube poops are a lost art form. Yeah, they're definitely like a lost art form. Oh, did I say hey Flame Bro yet? Hey Flame Bro, hope you're having a good night, man. Are you in a comp game? Is it Overwatch? Has Overwatch gotten better yet? Puzzles are generally pretty good for strengthening those connections. Yeah, they definitely... At least I feel like they are. Like, doing puzzles... Like, it feels like I'm doing something productive. Maybe that's just me, but... Like, whenever I have something that requires me to think... Like, it feels like it's a lot better than just, like, sitting and watching something. Because at least I'm, like, working my brain, sort of. I do word search and Sudoku. My mom is addicted to it, so now I am. Yeah, one thing I used to watch... I don't know how this would be considered, though. So you know how there's, like, game shows where there's, like, puzzles? Like Jeopardy and, like, The Price is Right? Would that, like, strengthen your brain? Would that, like, strengthen your connection? Like, if you... Say you watch like Jeopardy, and you're like you have like the question, or not the question. You have like the prompt. It's like what is the this is the C between like the between like Italy or like Italy and like I don't know, some other peninsula. Like does that like help strengthen your brain or something? Like if by you answering that, because technically would that count as like a puzzle? I don't know why I think up these questions, but I always have like when I think of like puzzles and I think of like a different thing, like I can sort of like mix and match things together. I used to watch like Jeopardy all the time, but that was after Alex Trebek passed, and then we had like a new host. I don't dislike the new host, but it's been quite a long time since I watched Jeopardy. Depends on how you watch it, I reckon. If that makes you think about information, then yeah, it's just in the background, then it's not really. You know, I always thought that, I don't know if it's stupid to think this way, but I always thought that people who went on Jeopardy were like really smart. And I thought that they just knew like the answers just like that, and I thought I was like really stupid. I was like, this is supposed to be common sense, isn't it? But in actuality, I find out that they study beforehand. Like they aren't like given the categories, but they have to study beforehand because they have to expect like the different variety of subjects there are on there. So me thinking like back when I was 8 years old, I thought these guys were like geniuses. I thought they were like really smart. Only to find out that they're just like nerds that study. I was like, damn. So you do actually have to study. I wonder what are like the qualifications for like going on a game show anyways. Do you have to be like really interesting? Have you guys ever tried applying for a game show? That's like one thing I've always kind of wanted to do. I know it's on like the bucket list that we made a couple weeks ago. Is to like go on a game show. At least for me. But if you guys had to go on like a game show, which would it be? You can think of like a variety of game shows. You could say like Family Feud. You could say Jeopardy. You could say The Price is Right. There's like so many game shows that you can do that doesn't really require like much effort. At least I think they don't. What other game shows are there? I'm not like a game show fanatic, but I know when it comes to game shows, a lot of them, they try to reduce the amount of money that they lose. So, like, that they get back from sponsors so that they actually, like, turn a profit or are able to, like, sustain themselves. Survivor, Price is Right, then Jeopardy. You know, Survivor is a really nice pick. But I feel like... I don't know, like Survivor just kind of feels weird. Like, you have to... The thing of like Survivor, I feel like... How much money do you actually win from like Survivor though? Like, it's a nice experience. You get to like meet new people and you get to talk with people. But also you have to stay on like an island for like... a whole season. Like you have to stay there for like maybe I don't know, like 3 months or something. And you have to live on the island every day, and like in order to shower you have to like bathe in seawater, or you might not like shower at all. Like I'm not questioning your choice, but it's definitely like Survivor though. Damn. Survivor. Jesus. Hey Cozy 100 YT. We were just talking about game shows and what game show you would like to go on. Yeah, but hope you're doing well. Price is Right, then Jeopardy. I like Price is Right when I grew up watching it. I used to stay home a lot when I was sick. Even though my parents didn't really care that much that I was sick. And sometimes though, even when I was sick, they were like, go to school. It's not because it was like an Asian thing or or anything, but they really told me that education was important. So even when I was sick, I had to go to school. But there was like some lucky times, on like off chances where they're like, you're really sick, you know, you can actually stay home, but this one time, and that one time became many times. But yeah, Price is Right. That and this is not like a game show, but I used to watch like Jerry Springer. I don't know how many of you guys know what that show was or like is, but it used to be like I don't know if it's still on, but I find like a lot of stuff on it is staged, and I'll move on from it because it's definitely not a game show, but it was like quite a wild time for daytime television. I mean, you had something that was really tame, and then you had something that was actually quite wild. How about one of those wild Japanese game shows? Japanese game shows. I remember there was like one game show. I don't know if you guys ever heard of it before, and I don't remember the name of it, but there used to be a Japanese show where there was like a dude that had to. He had like the most miserable time. He had to live in solidarity for like 6 months or something for a game show. And it was like probably one of the worst, like morally speaking, it was like one of the worst game shows there were. I don't know if you guys know that story, but there was like a dude that in order to win, like I don't know how much was it. I think it was like $60,000 or something. He had to like stay in solidarity for 6 months, but he couldn't shower. He couldn't like meet people. He couldn't talk to anybody. But the only way he could communicate was he could write letters to like the outside world. So that's like the wildest game show that I've heard of, where there was like a dude that had to suffer to get money for that. Probably a decent bid. There's this competitive tag show. I would love to try that. Competitive tag show. Oh, I used to... That does remind me. There was like a... I know it's not... they're not game shows, but what are they considered as? Like, I know there's like a... What is it? Hole in the Wall? And there's also... a Wipeout. You guys ever heard of those shows? They're not like... Like, are they game shows? Because they require, like, physical activity, right? Like, would they be, like, game shows? Well, I mean, like, they're sort of game shows. They require, like, physical activity. It's like Survivor. But... yeah, I mean, I guess they're, like, game shows. I haven't watched many game shows, but maybe Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? That's a game show I haven't heard in a long while. Yeah, now that it does remind me, like, have you guys ever seen like people who cheat in like game shows? There's plenty of videos out there on YouTube that that showcase like cheaters on these game shows, and Who Wants to Be a Millionaire was like one of them. There was like some guy with along with his wife. They like I think passed over like the not half a million mark, like a $250,000 mark. That's when like the questions started becoming more difficult, like at the $250,000. And then like those last 4 questions were supposed to be like the cream of the crop in terms of like how knowledgeable you are as a person, and they're definitely not common sense. So I don't know, like if you guys know what Who Wants to Be a Millionaire is, it's just basically like a questionnaire, but you have to go through the tiers, and for each question that you answer, you get money, but you're given 4 options. So when they reached the $250,000 mark, he had his wife cough, but very subtly in like the audience, as to what the correct answer was. So the host of like the show, and this was like the British version of it. I think it was the British version of it. In America, it's different. We have like different hosts, or it might be like a long while ago. But his wife coughed, and I don't know how she knew the answer, because it's really weird to me. Even if they did cough, it's like, how does your wife know the answer but you don't? And she knew the answer for like every single one of the questions. So how does your wife know more than you, right? So somehow, like I said, she coughed, and then at like all the options that were given to him, since he was like in the hot seat, and by the end, they found out that they were conspiring to cheat, and they got caught, and they were fined like a $250,000, I think, or somewhere really close to that amount. But yeah, cheating never pays. There was also one where I think it was called like press the button. I forgot what it was, but it was like a really old show. It's the one where you yell like no whammies, no double whammers or something, or some shit. I forgot what it was. Does somebody know what that show was? It's like you press the button and then you land on like a different square, like it's Monopoly. And sometimes you hit like go to jail or something. And then other times you get money, or like you just lose all of it. I feel like Who Wants to Be a Millionaire would be so easy for me. The wife's husband was someone who studied game shows and was going to be on the show soon. Well, that's too bad, because she never went on the show, did she? Yeah. But it is interesting that there's like a ton of game show cheaters out there. Yeah, I've seen that. That's good. Oh, anyway, I think it was called like Press the Button or something. It was like a really generic name. But there's like a really smart guy. I know we're talking about a whole bunch of game shows now, and I'm going off like a tangent on like cheaters, but it's just so interesting to me. So there's this one guy. He used to be, I think he used to be like an ice cream truck salesman. Not ice cream truck. He used to sell like ice cream, an ice cream man. I don't know what you call that, but he went on the show called Press Your. Oh, now I remember. It's called Press Your Luck. So he went on this TV show or game show called Press Your Luck against like 2 other people, where you were given questions, and if you answered it right, you got like one button press, and you would press the button, and like whatever the button landed on like the different square, like I said, it was like Monopoly, then you either got money or you lost money, or you just you completely lost everything. So he was like one of the contestants, and he did a really smart thing, and I don't know if you guys consider this as cheating, but he studied how the Monopoly board would move, corresponding to how the button would, whenever you press it, where the square would land on. So he basically like looked at like footage of how people played the game show, or how they went on there, and he basically just correlated and just gathered the info to where he could just like know where the patterns were, like on the board whenever you press the button, where it would land on. So every single time he pressed the button, he would land on the square where it would give him money, as well as like an extra button push. So, and the producers or the directors didn't catch this until like a couple weeks later, after he won like I think 250,000 or some outrageous amount. So needless to say, if you study up on like when it comes to like rhythm or like any games that has to do with pressing a button and how you can see on a board and it lights up, there's bound to be like some pattern that you can study and that you can get. So the thing is, would you guys consider that as cheating? Like, just because you know where a certain piece on like a board would land, and you press it and then you get like a certain amount of money, avoiding like everything else, would you guys consider that cheating just because you studied? Because nowadays I feel like that isn't cheating though. That's just a flaw in the game show, isn't it? Like, you made the game show that way, where you just press the button, but you didn't realize that people could figure out like different patterns on how they could go about things. It's not cheating? Yeah, it's definitely not cheating. I mean, like that's how I think of things. Like, if it doesn't directly say that you can't do that, or it's not in like the game show clause, or they say that you can't just like study or like do this shit. Instead, you could just like observe it, and then you could just like see how like the game show works. Like, that's not cheating at all. The game show was called Press Your Luck. Yeah, that was the game show that I was talking about. But I feel like nowadays though, like as far as like game shows go, like they've definitely like strengthened up their game as far as like how cheating works, because they definitely don't want to let people have like all the money in the world, or like take advantage of that. Oh, speaking of like cheating as well, there was like I don't know why I remember like all these cheaters. Not cheaters. Some people are cheaters, some people aren't. But what do you guys think about this one? So I remember like way back when, this was like a couple on like The Price is Right. So during every single showcase, or during every single item that they presented, the guy would press the button and they would know like the exact price. And the thing is, when you got the exact price of the item, because some people they don't get it, they either say the price below it or above it, but when they get it exactly right, they got like $1,000 extra. So like, say for example, they showcase like a scooter, and some people say $1 because they don't want to go over it, and then some people say $900, but $900 is actually like over the price. So if they get it wrong, they get nothing, but if they go below, then they can get it right because they're the ones that closest to it. So for this one couple, or this one guy, I think, along with his wife, whatever they presented, he got the exact price of it. And he went on to do like the final showcase, which was like where you compete with another person who got like who basically won the other rounds. And during the showcase, or the final showcase, they would showcase like a ton of items, so you would have to come up with like the prices of all of it, like combined. So it's not just like one item, but many items. And I kid you not, he calculated like the exact price of everything. And I think the host at the time, Drew Carey, was like, what the fuck? This guy must be cheating. But he didn't say it. But like deep down in his mind, he really thought that the guy was cheating, because there's no way in hell that he would get the exact price of like a car, or like a boat, and like a vacation, unless he somehow knew like the people who were like directing or like producing the show. But the thing is, I don't want to say he technically didn't cheat, but he just studied what were like the items, he basically studied beforehand So he knew like the prices for like some of the items. Like for example, when I said like about like the scooter and like the microwave and all that sort, he just like looked at a ton of products and he gathered the prices, as well as like he studied up on like vacation hotspots and how much they would cost, and he put it together and he just calculated the price. So would that be like considered cheating? Because the way I think of it, it's like, just because you do this one thing, or just because you study up on something, like I wouldn't say it's considered cheating unless like it's like during the act of playing the game, isn't it? Like cheating for me, it's like sort of like in the rule of like a court of law, it's like presenting evidence that wasn't entered in beforehand. You guys know what I mean? Whereas if you present like evidence that wasn't like a part of like the original transcript, that's like out of line. That's where it would be cheating, isn't it? But if you do it beforehand, like if you prepared for something, that isn't technically cheating. He rewatched the old vids, right? Because they put the items again and again. Now he outsmarted the game. Yeah, it's so weird to me because like some people define cheating as like beating the system, or like they're doing things that are like out of the norm, that isn't like ordinary. But I just consider it as like thinking outside the box. You guys know what I mean? Some people, they're like really creative on how they go about things, and some people are just really smart. So by doing something that isn't like what people would normally do, I just think that's like just a smart way to go about things. It's sort of like I don't know if you guys agree with this. So for some people, they can work hard, but there's also something called like working smarter. Do you guys think that's like what do you guys think about that? Like, would you work hard or you like to work smarter? Because for some people, they work hard, but the thing is, like, all that effort is just put to nowhere. But if you're working smarter, then like you really reap the rewards of your or like the fruits of your labor, right? Yeah, but what do you guys think of it? Like, would you either work smarter or you work like harder? I would like to work smarter. I'm not saying that working hard like isn't bad or anything. Maybe I'd like a little bit of both. I got accused of cheating on my physical education test once because I got 100% on the test. I was upset. I changed to home economics. Honestly, the teacher just made easy test. I remember I took a I don't remember. Hold on. This wasn't like in college, but I had to take like a summer school, and we had this like one surfer guy. I don't know if I told this story before. We had this like one surfer dude. It was like, yeah, brah, or like I don't know. He'd say like stuff that was like really. I don't know why the summer school hired him. I'm not saying that like it's like bad to do that, but the dude didn't really fit like the whole, I don't know, teacher vibe. I'm not saying that's like a bad thing. I'm not saying that he should be fired, but it's just really weird that he was like a teacher. He was more like a lifeguard. But he taught geography, and we were learning about like the capitals of Europe, and I had to learn like all the capitals of Europe within a week. And we took a week learning all that. And by the time we had to take the test, the surfer dude was like, "Are you guys cheating?" Because I'll know. But he wasn't a bad teacher or anything. He just, he made it really fun. Like, he made learning, like, the capitals really fun. But The weird thing was he didn't really trust people. He thought I was kind of cheating, which was weird. Yeah, but I will tell you this, I never really cheated. I never cheated on anything. Alright? Never. Yeah, but he did think I was cheating because I was like right next to a really smart kid that was also taking the test. And but I did pass the test, okay? I didn't fail it or anything. And yeah, it's really weird that that for whatever reason that's like the case for some people. Like they can make it fun. The teacher can make it fun, and I don't know, maybe I'm not like a trustworthy person or something. I don't know. But yeah, it's interesting to know that that some things that you do in life aren't necessarily trusted by anybody. I don't know. I think I'm a trustworthy person, right? I think so. Right? Am I trustworthy? Never cheated. My parents raised a nerd that loves studying. Yeah, like there's definitely like different ways to go about like the whole education path. Some people like to study a lot, but I was never one to really do study all that much. I feel like, at least for me, I studied whenever it would count. Like, how do I put this? Like, maybe during tests, I'd study a little bit. I'm not saying it's a bad thing for some people that like studying. I know a couple people back in college and back in high school that studied a lot. And I mean a lot. They take like AP classes, they take like honor roll classes. Have you guys ever taken like any honor roll classes before? But like on top of like the honor roll classes, they take like extracurriculars. So they would take like some easy extracurricular activities, some that involve like physical activity, but it'd be like a really easy subject. I'm not talking about like basketball or like football or like stuff like that. But they would also like join clubs as well, which I don't know how many of you guys in the chat have done that when you were in like school or like in high school, I mean. But I've never been like one to join any clubs at all. Well, I mean, yeah, I don't think I ever joined any club. Yeah, I also never did like any extracurriculars. The only time I ever joined somewhat resemblance of like a club was during like video game design class. That was like the only time I ever joined like any semblance of a club. Oh yeah, this wasn't... I saw this like interesting short, and apparently it's like one of the reasons why people prefer like dark mode compared to like light mode whenever they search stuff online. And I don't know if you guys like prefer light mode or like dark mode whenever you browse like browse online or like on YouTube. But I think that the reason why is this was like a really nice topic, but it's due to like the contrast of like lighting. So apparently if you turn down like a brightness in a game, like the graphics look a lot better. So I don't know if you guys use like light mode or like dark mode whenever you browse like online, or whenever you like use Google or use YouTube, but I use like dark mode just because it's like easy on the eyes. And I found that like once I go like dark mode, I never really want to go back to light mode. But yeah, that's just like an interesting short that I watched. Maybe it's not like maybe it's just like an assumption because those two aren't definitely like related in any way. It's just one short that I saw that was interesting. Yeah, that was like it was like a Wuthering Wave short. If you just turn down the light setting, then the graphics just enhance themselves. Oh, that does remind me though. So, and this was like another interesting thing I watched. This was like a funny video, and it was actually, at least to me, it was funny. So, in there was like a video one time where there was like a Valve employee, and he was like head for like the lead designer of like not lead designer. He was a level designer for Counter-Strike, and he would always get like complaints about people having problems with like the FPS or like the ping. So they implemented an update where they would just have like the FPS counter or like the ping counter just like be a stable 100, and then the complaints were like no longer there anymore, but they didn't do jack shit to the game itself. They just updated the counter to say 100 ping or like 100 FPS, and then people sent in like their own statements or like opinions that, "Oh, you guys actually did a really great job. I can't believe you did this. I'm so happy with the 100 FPS." It's so weird. It's so weird how you can get away with these things. Like, I feel like as a game designer, there's so many ways that you can go about sort of tricking your audience, or not audience, but tricking like the player base with how they go about like the whole level design and how they. I feel like it's the same with like Wizard 101 too. If the developers were to do something similar to what I just said, with like changing some things, like just have a counter that says this is that, or it's like a stable this. I know it's misleading, but I can bet you that people would stop complaining. Like, people won't complain if you do something that you think is like how they want it. I mean, like, you could still do jack shit, but as long as it's there and people know that it's there, then it still works. I was the vice president of the health club and was in the Bible club and the singing club. What the fuck? Holy crap. That's a lot of clubs. Not just like the Bible club and the singing club too. I'm dark mode, I have bad eyesight. Yeah, but damn, singing club? Were you in like the church choir too? That's not like a joke, but I'm kind of genuinely curious. Yeah, back in high school, the only club, like I said, that I sorta joined is like video game design, but that was a class. And I also had like guitar class too. And one of the things that I wanted to learn was like how to sing. But what's funny about it is like directly across the hall where we had like guitar class, and I shit you not, directly across the hall was the choir class. So every time we did have class, the other classroom would just like keep singing. So it would kind of just mess up how we would just, you know, how we have to like have our chord progressions and how we have to like play the guitar, and it's like it's I found it like super annoying. So I feel like whenever we did that, and I don't know if we would ever like maybe be in tune, but I feel like if we ever like did that, maybe they would have just like be in tune with us so we could just like create a song or something. But yeah, it was like really interesting to take like those certain classes. I treated them as clubs though, even though they weren't. Yeah, I remember one time in guitar class we also had to sing a song as well as like play the song. And the song I chose was Country Roads. Because I thought at the time it was like a really simple song. I think it's a simple song. Like, wouldn't you guys think it is? It's just like a couple words. Like, it doesn't require like you to become an a cappella or an opera singer. Like, you could just say the words and it would just have almost the same meaning. But yeah, I did Country Roads, even though I didn't sound like the singer. Some people were like turning their heads. They were thinking, "What the hell is he doing?" So I performed the song, and by the end, I think nobody clapped. A couple people were turning their heads. They were like, "Is that how the song actually goes?" Yeah, but it's just like, it's probably one of the most embarrassing things, or like one of the times that I sort of felt any sort of embarrassment, like whatsoever, of like performing a song and also like playing the guitar and singing it. But for those people that haven't played the guitar and also tried to sing at the same time, it's really difficult. All right. So singing and playing an instrument are two different things that you have to, I wouldn't say like master, but you have to really know like one thing and then the other. Otherwise, if you like have them coexist, then it's just gonna be a complete mishmash. No, I was in the school choir. I sing at graduations, even my own graduation. Yeah, there's also like some people that are like valedictorians. Did you sing like "We Are the Champions"? I wasn't good. I think I was just like singing. I remember we had like a valedictorian, and I forgot what class I was, but it was such a long time ago. But I always thought of like valedictorian as this like one accomplishment that required you to be like a nerd, and it required you to take like honor rolls classes. But the more I thought of it, the more it was like, you know, maybe they're not so much like a nerd. Maybe they got like more experience than me. Because the thing about it was like, they were doing all these things, like participating in clubs, they were meeting new people, they were meeting friends, they were having large meetups and just doing everything that I didn't do. So they were, in a way, living life to the fullest. Even though they were taking like hard classes like biology, or like AP biology or AP organic chemistry or whatnot, they were also getting more knowledge and more life experience than I was. So at the time, I didn't really have a right to call them nerds, and I still don't, but I say it as a joke. But the more I look back on it, it was like, damn, they're doing so much that I didn't do. And I wouldn't say I regret it, because there's no going back, but there's like so many things nowadays that I can do that's wow, I can actually do some of the things. Maybe I feel old, but I could still do them. I think that's where we get like where some people say I'm too old for this shit, but in reality they're like 30 years old and they're not that old. So no matter how old you are or how you think you are, you could still do it. Like whatever you set your mind to. Frank Zappa once said that he couldn't sing and play guitar at the same time. That's like, singing and playing guitar is definitely like really difficult. I have respect for people who can do that, especially if you play like many instruments. I know Stevie Wonder, like and also Billy Joel. He can play the guitar, not play the guitar. you can play the harmonica as well as play the piano as well as sing. And you can do that at like the exact same time. Not the singing part, but like if you can combine two instruments and play those like in combination or in conjunction with each other, like that's just like amazing. Like for piano, man, there's like the harmonica and then there's the piano, but there's also the singing part. So like musicians who do that, they definitely have a ton of respect. Or I think it's like such an amazing feat. But about singing though, even now I don't think I'm very good at singing. Like I do sing every day, but like the thing that I realized is like when it comes to the skills, it's only as good as like your technique. So I don't know if you guys think this is like a true statement, but when you do something, you have to do it right, and that includes like practicing and having the right technique. Otherwise, you're just gonna do it wrong, and you're never gonna get better. Like, do you guys think that's like a true thing? Or do you guys think that just because you practice, you're only ever gonna get better? Because for singing, like I saw like a ton of people say that if you sing with the wrong technique, you're only ever gonna get worse. So I don't know if that's true or not. At least for me, for me mostly, I've just been singing because I like singing. I don't do it because like I should say I'm good at it, or I'm like I don't know, an a cappella singer, but I just do it because it's for like the like, or like the love for it, I think. I don't know how many guys are like into singing. I know Hudra said that they're like singing, and they have like they have like a singing club, but like I just do it because I like doing it. And no matter how I sound, if I do sound bad, the only time I ever tried singing was like during the karaoke stream. But that was like a couple months ago. Yeah, but I feel like I'll get better one day. But I would need like a vocal coach to teach me like the right technique. Because like singing or like doing something is only as good as if you have like somebody to tell you what you're doing wrong. I think that's the way to go about it, I mean. I feel like it can go both ways. X amount of hours until you become an expert. Huh. Well, I mean, I sing every day for like 2 to 3 hours, so I know that's like bad for people to not do. It's bad for anybody to do that like every single day, but I do it just because I really like it. Yeah, you gotta work on that falsetto for September. Yeah, I know. I gotta work on it. I know. But I'm getting better. At least I think I am. But one thing I've been trying to do is try to sing songs that are like outside my range. So when I sang like some of the songs that were like fit for my key, I tried to go out of it. So I'm currently like working towards that. So there's like some songs that require you to like sing like high notes, and so far I've been trying to reach that. And also I've been trying to work on like my breath and like my control of all of it. And I feel like that's helped me a lot as far as like talking and like speaking to people, especially like on stream. Because before, whenever I talked or like whenever I spoke on stream, I used to do like these little large breaths where I do this. And then like in between when I say things. So I feel like I've definitely gotten a little bit better when it comes towards that. So whenever I say things now, I feel like it's a lot more natural. What, you singing so long? just some old songs. So usually what I sing every day is just what I sang for karaoke. Yeah, I still have like the karaoke list. The only songs I know are like really old songs. I don't know if you guys listen to like old songs, but I'm a bit of like an old 80s, 90s, 70s type of person. I don't really listen to like music nowadays. And I don't really know what musical artists there are now. The only ones that I know of was like way back maybe when I was like a teenager, like Bruno Mars and like Ariana Grande. But I never really caught on to that. I know some people who had like a ton of friends that are like in a group that like listening to that, but I never really listened to that type of music. Not because it was mainstream or anything, but because I just like 80s, 70s, 90s type of music. But yeah, I feel like Phoenix does have like the right way of going about things. Like you can get better, but there's definitely like a limit. Oh, what do you guys think about this statement? So some people are born not naturally talented, but some people are born to be like great singers. It's sort of like some people can be good at arts, but they'll never be great at something. Like what's the word? What was this? I forgot the phrase. You can be good, but you'll never be great. And some people just have like natural talents, or like they're just like fit for that specific role. Do you guys think that's true? Like some people have a golden voice, while other people they have to work at it and they'll never achieve that. You know what I mean? Like, say for example, like you have Usain Bolt, right? Everybody knows who he is. He can run like 10 miles an hour, or I don't know, like 15 miles an hour or something. But he can never beat a car. But the thing is, compared to the average person, he can run a lot faster. And no matter what, you'll probably never beat him, or you'll never get to his level, because I want to say he's naturally like born like that. So do you guys think that you can get to that point by working hard? Or do you think like it's a nature thing, or it's like a natural born thing? I'm sure it like nature affects people in some way for that to happen. But I feel like no matter what, as long as you keep at it, at least for me, I know it's like ignorance or something, but I feel like if you keep at it at like one specific thing, and it's something that you're really passionate about, you could still beat natural born talents. You know what I mean? Like if you work hard at something and you work smart at it, and you're passionate about it, you can beat natural born talents. As long as you're determined enough. At least that's how I think. As for physical activity, there is a generic component. Greatness is subjective. It depends on what. Like, even if you work hard but can't work unless technology. Can't work that unless technology. I mean, it's definitely difficult. I mean, some people might have a natural advantage over you, but I definitely think it's a possibility. Maybe I'm like the only person. there's like some people that are naturally talented at certain things, but they never get into it even though they are naturally talented, meaning they don't work at it, they don't work at it, they don't work towards it. They kind of just let it sit idly. You know, like people who pull stupid stupid tranks. People who pull stupid pranks on unsuspecting people. Yeah, it's kind of just wasted potential or wasted talent. Natural talent plus he trains. Yeah, true. If you are impaired, can't walk, you can't beat someone at running, technology can't be an equalizer. So you're saying with somebody who has technology, they can beat somebody that doesn't have technology. But that'd be cheating though, wouldn't it? Maybe if I inject myself with like steroids, can I beat them then? Like if you have like say for example you're arm wrestling and somebody has like a mechanical arm and then you have like an arm full of steroids. Are you saying that's like the equalizer? Like if you're just like a natural born person and you're competing against somebody with steroids and you're competing with somebody with like a mechanical arm, like I feel like, I know I'm like a hopeless believer in all this, but I believe you could still beat them, like through hard work. Maybe that's just me, but like I like to think that there's like hope in everything, like even if you're at a huge disadvantage. Like the same thing goes with like AI. You guys know, like the other day I went on Discord and I kid you not, there was like a random Discord bot that tried to sell me AI art. Like it just randomly messaged me and I don't know how it did this. Like I know I was like in one of the servers, but usually whenever I get a message, it would just be like whether I could accept the message or not. But there was like this AI bot of some kind that whenever I talked to it, and I didn't know it was an AI bot, I didn't know what it was until I actually saw like the user profile. But like I saw the messages that it only respond like once every couple of minutes, and that's when I realized that damn, this is just a bot. And I don't know if you guys ever received any of these messages, but there's like there's AI going around of people trying to sell you AI art or like anything to do with AI art, and it's really weird. Like I'm probably like the only person to receive this, but like it was just so awkward. Yeah, but the way that the I don't even know why people do that. It's just so weird to me. No, I haven't. Really? I thought they'd be a lot more common though, cause AI is like super common, and the thing I was gonna talk about with like AI is like there's so many ways to generate stuff like based off of AI that it's just like really weird to me. Like AI has just gotten to the point where it's like extremely, what is it, like really accurate, but also not very accurate. And like I said before, like I've said this like in a few streams, like it's gonna get to a point where like some of the stuff that people do, it might be like replicated but in like AI form, where like you could be fabricated for stuff, or like for like a crime or something, and that's like one of the scariest things. Haven't gotten the art ones, just the nitro ones? The nitro ones? I haven't heard of the nitro ones. I know I know like Discord sometimes they do sales on like Discord Nitro. But yeah, there's like a ton of ways people try to scam people nowadays. Yeah, back then it was just like what is it, the African prince scam that people receive through emails, and now it's like AI scams. It does make me wonder what kind of scams we'll get in the future, though. Oh, one thing that I thought was kind of interesting, like and I feel like people might have an easier time over this. Like whenever you make videos or whatnot, and I don't know if you guys think this is like a good thing or like a bad thing, but like for some YouTubers, whenever they make content based on games, they can utilize game footage of like the game trailers and like the gameplay and like all that. But when you have like YouTubers who make lore videos, or they want to make videos about like a movie, and they use like bits and pieces of a movie, then it's not it's copyright claimed, or like copyright struck. So when I think about like different types of media, like games and then movies, like do you guys think games and movies are like in the same vein, where you should be allowed to use like those specific types of media for fair use? Because like I think of games as just like interactive movies, kind of. I mean, you paid for like the game, right? You paid $60. Or I don't know, maybe it's like a distribution thing where some people get to see the movie, but it's like the same thing with like seeing the game, isn't it? Like if you play the game, how's that different than playing like a movie? Maybe that's like a wrong way to go about things. Or do you guys think like movies and games like should be different? Because when people use like movies in like their YouTube videos, they have to be careful on how they use it to make sure that they're making it like supposedly fair use, where they have to talk over it. Where like when you make like a video on a game, that it's definitely like a lot more different. You don't really have penalties for that, unless it's Japan. In Japan, supposedly that's different. Japan copyright depends on the type of game and the type of game developers, and it's really weird over there. Like compared to the US, like I know there's some YouTubers in Japan aren't allowed to play certain games before release, or they aren't allowed to play it entirely, like in the form of like a video or a live stream. They have to get permission first. So I don't know if that's like something you guys agree on, like whether or not you should be allowed, like within reason, like if you make it transformative. You guys know what I mean? Like I believe like in all types of media, whether it be like games, whether it be movies, you should still be allowed to use it, no matter like who holds the rights to it, as long as you make it transformative. You know, you talk about like the lore, because people are interested in like the background and they want to know more about like the type of media it's from. Like say for example, I don't know, you talk about Resident Evil, and you want to know about like the Umbrella Corporation, and you use like a clip from the movie, because that's probably like the only way you know about like the whole corporation, or like the lore, to describe like whatever you're talking about. Paramount looking to make an extra $2 through a copyright strike. Yeah, it's kind of petty. Like I know before I streamed, like there was like the what was it? I had a friend once. She she uh she got copyright struck because one person used her video, but it wasn't because because she used the video for her what was it, dragon's beard candy that she made. And that's what kind of inspired me to go against like the grain and try to get a copyright strike. But it never really came because either YouTube didn't actually detect it, but or the person didn't really care all that much. But yeah, it's some people or some companies tend to do things that don't really make a whole lot of sense. Or I don't know, like even when they do it, it's just so weird that like it's over a couple cents or it's like $1. Like they don't. The thing about making these types of videos is you don't really make money off it. Only a few YouTubers can ever be financially successful. Like when you make lore videos because you're passionate about it, they don't make a whole lot of money. So for companies to like tear that limb from limb, it just makes it so that other people don't really want to do it. Like my philosophy is, if the fans love a type of media more so enough, and they're willing to make like lore off of like a game or like any type of media that you have, I feel like that's a good thing, because they're spreading the information to other people who want to get into it or they want to know more about it, right? Whereas if you just copyright strike them, then you're just kind of shutting them off. Like I get it where they took like copyright, but still there's like good things to benefit from it. But and as long as you use it in like fair use, then yeah, it doesn't really harm anybody, does it? Companies want all that money, including the $1 from using a 1-second clip from a game. Apparently, public domain music can get you copyright struck right a world. Yeah, it's really weird. Oh, speaking of copyright, did you guys know that Winnie the Pooh and also Mickey Mouse? I know this is old news, but Mickey Mouse and the Steamboat Willie version of Mickey Mouse, it's available for like public domain. That's why there's like a ton of like that's why there's like horror movies that are made on it just to make a quick buck. So and if you didn't know this, then now you know. Winnie the Pooh and like Steamboat Willie, they're both available for public domain. So technically you can probably do anything you want with that. But and Disney probably won't go after you because there's like people making shitty movies on it. But yeah, that exists now. I think Japan just makes people that use any form of their games is just stealing. I don't know, they're weird about that stuff. Yeah, Japan tends to do a lot of weird things. More so in like their commercials. I don't know if you guys ever watch any Japanese commercials, but they're really wacky and they're kind of outrageous. Like, to us, it looks like they're putting on it like a show in the span of 10 seconds. And they have to like shove everything in it. To make sure that you can get it, and you might not process everything, but it does sort of make you want to buy the product. I think that's like the difference between commercials like in-state versus like out of country. Or maybe it's like catered towards like the Japanese audience and they like that stuff. I don't know. I got a copyright strike for a public domain song for a video I made. I don't do YouTube for money, but dang, imagine doing YouTube to feed a family and public domain music gets you copyright struck. The one's the milk where the teacher turns into a missile. Oh. Actually, the thing about like the music that I use though, I've actually stopped using like YouTube's library for music, and also like some of the music that is for public domain. I go to like a website for, and it's in Japanese, but you can auto translate it to English. I think it's called Dova syndrome. I mostly use like I used to commission people to make music, and I stopped doing that because it got really expensive. Like, it's not that I don't appreciate the music that they make. They make some really good tracks. Like, I don't know if you guys can hear some of them. Yeah, but beyond like the whole like commission thing, like I said, Dova Syndrome offers like a ton of music that you can use for free, and it doesn't have to be copyright. This is not a sponsor, by the way. Hey Flame Bro, have a good night, man. Thank you for moderating the chat. Yeah, I really appreciate it. But yeah, there's a website called Dova Syndrome, and you can search like a variety of like music there, and all of it is free. Yeah, you can like select the tracks you want, select the songs that you want. Like it's in our Discord and like the content creator channel. It's in the like the pinned comment. But yeah, you can also search it on Google, and it's free. Not a whole lot of people know about it. Like, it's really odd. A lot of people usually search on YouTube for copyright, non-copyright songs, and that's what I used to do. I used to search for non-copyright songs on YouTube, but like, it's amazing. Like, once you go into like the whole VTubing sphere and like the whole VTubing world, like, there's so much more information, like some things that I didn't know about, and that's like how I got to get into like the whole music thing. There's like so many assets too that people can utilize. Kevin McLeod is a real one. Yeah, he is. Everybody ever since like 2010 has been using like his songs. Yeah, he doesn't, from as far as I know, he never really copyright struck anybody. Yeah, but his songs are really well known. I wonder if he still makes music. Yeah, I don't know. Does he still make music? Okay, anyways. Yeah, Nova Syndrome. If anybody that they want some easygoing listening music, or they want rock and roll, or any type of musical genre at all, this is not a sponsor, but you can go to Dova Syndrome, and you can download any free tracks that you need for background music. And it's no copyright, so you could utilize it, and you could just not like you don't have to like you really don't have to like give them credit, but it is definitely reasonable to give them credit. I always give credit to people who deserve it. Okay, you dropped the content, you dropped the creators channel in the Discord, right? Huh? What creators channel? Yeah, it should be, the Dova Syndrome should be in the Discord. If anybody's interested, if you need music, then that's the way to find it. But you have to make sure you have to translate it to English. If you don't translate it, then I hope you understand Japanese, because I don't. Okay. What else did I wanted to talk about? Oh, yeah, I'm gonna try and wrap it up here. Going forward, as far as like YouTube goes, next week, I want to try like playing around with like a magic kit on stream. But I'm probably gonna do it on the weekend, the same time as we did like the Zatsudan today, which is just a just chatting stream. But there's like so many things I want to do that's like not just games. But there's also so many things that I haven't really thought of yet. So next week I kind of want to play around with like a magic kit. I don't know if you guys ever played around with like magic kits when you were a kid, but like I want to see like how fun they are, or if they work at all, or like even if like the camera on stream ruins it because it's like a top down perspective. But I'm genuinely curious to see like how magic kits work, because when I was a kid I used to watch like I forgot a TV show, but what the TV show was called, but there used to be one where it was like a masked magician, and he would do like a ton of magic tricks. There were like no ordinary tricks, but they were really fascinating, and they used to reveal like how they were done. So I kind of want to be able to do some magic tricks, since I don't, and I know a lot of magic tricks are like sleight of hand, but I kind of want to do like some of them like on stream, and I thought that'd be fun. But yeah, that's something that I kind of want to do next week. And going forward though, I want to try like a couple more games. I want to try like the like Silent Hill. That's like a game I wanted to try and play, but I never got around to do it. Mostly because it requires like an emulator. And I know like the newest Silent Hill is coming out. I think it's Silent Hill 2. It looks really weird. Like either I'm gonna wait for the Silent Hill 2 remake to come out, or I'm gonna play the original one. But I want to play the original because it, like, I don't know. $60 is a lot to drop on a game, especially if it's on release. How you gonna trick us when we can see? Oh yeah, you're right. I don't know. But I'll figure that out. I just thought it would be like a fun thing to do. Oh, and going forward, I kind of want to make like other types of videos that I think is like really creative, or it's just like a topic that I have in my mind that I kind of want to talk about. So yeah, you guys are gonna see a bit more variety. I wouldn't say like a bit more variety. It's still gonna be like something that's like similar and you guys know, but I want to try more creative things. But yeah, I'm gonna take it one step at a time though, to make sure that it isn't just like overwhelming. And I think by today I should be able to get out the video, and it's gonna be released for members early. I've been doing that for like the past couple of months. That's the only thing I can give for like memberships right now, for people who do have channel memberships, just to release like videos a day earlier. But I think it was an interesting topic on a video that I was doing, and I hope everybody does enjoy it. Yeah, I did put a little bit more effort than usual when it came to editing. Oh, and what else? What else would I want to talk about? I think that was it. You know, for my first like just chatting stream, it's actually kind of relaxing in a bit. Like I know how I said that in like the last couple of streams, or the last, I forgot whatever stream that I talked about this, but like playing a game and not being able to like chat with people, it just kind of feels weird. Because whenever people stream, or at least whenever I stream, like I like one side of me is like focused on the game, and then like the other side is focused on the chat, or like focused on like talking and like, I don't know, making something that I think is like entertaining in some way. So, but when I'm just like chatting, then like I could put my full focus on here, and I don't have to like look at a second monitor and have to go cross-eyed, like. But yeah, this has been like a fun thing to do. Hopefully I'm able to like do more Zatsudans. I didn't know what a Zatsudan is, so it took me a little bit of time to do these, but since I thought it'd be like something that would be more like difficult and like chat intensive. But just talking to people feels nice, like more so than just playing a game. Okay, guys, I'm gonna call it here. I want to thank everybody for joining me. I want to thank you all for coming to the stream, and look forward to next week. It's gonna be Magic Kits probably on Sunday, and as well as like Supermarket Simulator, and I don't know for Wednesday or Friday. I might like flip flop between them. But yeah, otherwise, thank you all for joining me. I hope you all have a good night. Thank you all for chatting with me. I appreciate it. And look forward to the next week's stream schedule as well as the video. Bye bye, everybody.